What's up, YouTube? It's Mr. Ferguson back once again here from Central North Carolina. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video today. We've actually got some work that we need to accomplish and to get done today. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you'll enjoy it. If you like this video, we're going to be talking about applying a herbicide. We're going to be applying a liquid gold product called Velocity PM to hopefully be able to deal with the POA annua in our yard. So if you enjoy this and other lawn care topics in GCI, turf type tall fescue, if you've got fescue yourself, subscribe to the channel. We like to do tests. We like to do experiments. We like to just play around on this channel and find out what do we need to do and what is kind of excess and how can we save money? What is a waste of money? We like to dabble in all those type of topics. So if you can't hear that on the mic, it is super windy today. And typically, you know, one of the things in lawn care is you don't want to spray a backpack sprayer in the wind and let all your product blow around. However, pretty much in the entire month of March and April, it's going to be windy, guys. So sometimes, you know, I want to get this down today. 2 weeks later, we're going to have to do this again. Then we're also looking at our second pre-emergent app. So we've got things we got to get done. If we're like, well, it's too windy today, I think we'll be waiting a long time if we have to wait on wind. So you just have to stop, and it's very annoying. I get super annoyed when the gusts start gusting up. The trees are just going crazy, and when it gusts up, I just have to stop and stand there. It dies down, and we continue spraying, and we keep it low to the ground, not crazy sticking it in the turf, but you know what I mean. Keep your wand closer to the ground so your spray is not blowing everywhere, and when the wind gusts up, it's definitely smart to stop, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. So what are we exactly doing today? What you've seen in the previous videos here in my lawn in Central North Carolina. And if I just step back and show you the backyard, you may be saying, well, I don't see a whole lot. All I see is some pretty green fescue. And you're exactly right. For whatever reason in our backyard, we're not really dealing with it. It makes me wonder if our slow creeping, laterally spreading fescue that we did with GCI Spreader Elite, I wonder if that has anything to do with that it's constantly filling in, it's constantly creeping around and keeping the turf thick. I don't know. Leave a comment below if you think you have a thought on that, but I don't know why, but in our backyard, we pretty much have no POA annua. It's really only in our front yard and a little bit on the strip on the side, and that's what we're going to be dealing with today. So because I'm on YouTube, as I've shared many times, I went out and purchased the fairly new product from New Farm called Velocity PM. This is not something I would recommend. Why, Mr. Ferguson? You want me to have POA in my yard and look like crap while you're fixing yours and everybody else? I don't think so. I'm going to buy it just like you. Well, you're more than welcome to go and buy it, but this is a $500+ herbicide. Ridiculous. The only reason I've purchased this is because I do this channel, because I'm on YouTube. I'm going to spray it. We're going to spray this, and then we're going to come back, as the label says, in 14 days and do another application and see, does it actually tackle POA annua? One of the things that we haven't delved into and talked about is the fact that POA annua is a cool season weed. It is something that begins to germinate here in North Carolina. 80% of it pops up in our lawn in October, according to NC State. And then it develops. You can't see it with the naked eye. And come springtime, just like a week ago, when the temps start to rise, the seed heads begin to appear. And all of a sudden, you have this shallow-rooted lime green weed in your yard and with the seed head. And you're like, what is that ugly plant? And it's called POA annua. So when we have something like fescue is a cool season grass, and when we have something like POA annua is a cool season weed. So you can maybe put together the challenge there. How can a herbicide be smart enough to pull out a specific cool season weed but not injure your cool season grass? That has been the challenge, and that's why this product is new. It's been engineered in a lab by New Farm. They claim it works. I think we've done one spray with this. We didn't even do a follow-up application because you have to only spray this when temps are under 80, which the past week or so we've been in the 80s, which is why we haven't been able to apply this. But we've since had a cold front come through, and we're going to see no 80s for the next 14 days, according to Fox Weather. So we are safe temperature-wise to apply Velocity PM. However, this is a fairly new product. Not only will it tackle and kill, it is rated to kill Poa annua, but it also is rated to tackle and kill Poa trivialis. So maybe you're not dealing with Poa annua in your lawn. Maybe you have that limey, taller than your fescue, keep spreading in your lawn Poa trivialis, that this also is rated to do it. So maybe you do want to put forth the investment. I'm going to tell you the rates of this in a minute. We're using small rates of this at a time, so a bottle can go a long way. And if I am to sit here and be honest with you, Poa trivialis, to me, I've dealt with both of them in my fescue here in North Carolina. Poa trivialis is much more of a nuisance to me than Poa annua. Poa annua is super annoying, don't get me wrong. We've talked about it. The differences are, obviously, Poa annua, it does not spread. However, it drops the seed heads that can come up at any point, any time. It could be years down the road, and Poa annua plants will continue to come up. Seed head, you mow, you don't bag it, you don't deal with it, you don't plant thick enough, and you can just have Poa annua yard, especially if you're not replanting grass every year. If we replant grass, sometimes we can weed it out, thicken up our lawn, and get rid of it. When we're talking about Poa trivialis, however, sometimes it will just pop up and it's a spreading type of grass. It is super annoying. And guess what? 2,4-D don't hurt it. Nothing out there hurts it pretty much besides something like a Killzall or a Roundup. And then you're talking about killing an entire section of your grass, and then you got to replant everything. So when there's a product called Velocity PM that comes out, of course it's going to be expensive because it's over $500. This is something golf courses are super interested in, but it's targeting those specific type grasses that are nuisances, yet it's not supposed to hurt our tall fescue. So we're going to test this out and find out for ourselves. The last thing I want to say before we get into mixing this is we did a mow 2 days ago. Why did we do that? It was actually our first mow of the year of 2026. In March. We did that 2 days prior because you want the plant to get chopped off, and actually we bagged it, we cut all the seed heads off, and it's already grown and it's begin to mature in the warmer weather, and those seed heads have come right back quickly. Actually, in about 24 hours, they begin to come right back. That is recommended, so when it will actually uptake the herbicide properly, get to the roots, and begin to kill the plant. So we've done a mow 2 days prior. After we spray this today, we're going to come back in 14 days and do our second application, but you're in the clear about 4 to 5 days after we spray this. We're clear to go ahead and do fertilizer if we want. We may do that. Not in a rush for fertilizer. So let's talk about mixing this up. We are measuring, as I said, in very small amounts. I am only doing my front yard, and then I'm going to basically spot spray very small areas on the little side strip on the left, and a little side strip on the right. I'm really not going to do any type of blanket spray in the back. So I am mixing up a total of 3 gallons, a 3,000 square feet mix. And so when you look on New Farm and you read their actual label, I'm going to put this up beside me. It's 2.25 ounces per acre. So obviously you have to convert that. You can't do, 2.25 ounces. I got it. And you go measure that and that's in acres. So what I did was go to Bermuda. Now I'm going to forget. It's going to be right here. I'm going to put it beside me. But basically, I went to Bermuda something website, and they will convert that for you. So you type in how many ounces per acre? 2.25. It converts it out. How many thousand square feet are you spraying? I put 3 because I've got 3 gallons of water. I know the front is roughly about 2,500, 2,400 square feet. So I've got a little extra, 600 square foot extra. So basically I am mixing for 3 gallons of water, 3,000 square feet. So with that, it comes up to roughly 4.6 milliliters. So you'll have to have, and if you can go to Amazon, you'll want to get some of these syringes, and these are in milliliters. We're not really doing ounces. And the great thing about the conversion website is it tells you ounces, but it also tells, it's so small, it's almost impossible to pour in a measuring cup in ounces. You'll need to do it in milliliters, and now I'm recalling doing this last time. So we have already done roughly, here's 5 right here, and I actually need a smaller one, but I've already sucked it up in the syringe, and we're just above the 4 there, so right around 4.5. If anything, I want to go lower. I don't want to go way higher, and I don't want to double spray. So that's the second part of, before we shoot this in, mix it up with our drill here and go into our spray. Besides the wind tips, the last tip I want to tell you is, if we're doing something like RGS, if we're doing something like a CK, well then it's okay with our sprayer if we kind of overlap a little bit. But this, as well as like fertilizer, if we overlap, that area is getting hit multiple times. That effect of that herbicide could be, you know, could be bad for the fescue. We don't want to do that if we can help it. We don't want to do a, you know, I want to make sure I get all my lawn. Well, we need to be careful about overlap. We really want to, if we're perfect, which we're not, we're human, we really want to be side by side with our spray. We don't want to leave a gap. However, we don't want to go with a big overlap either, affecting some of our fescue. And then we may have those lines where we overlap. So I'm trying to be conscious about that as well when I do this. You can put in a dye if you want to dye the grass. I'm not doing that. I'm trying to keep an eye on where my big fan off my sprayer is going to be going and try to do my best to judge that. So that's something just to keep in mind when, if you are doing this spray or you're doing a herbicide and you're like, why in the middle of the lawn is it, you know, this long strip of like dead right here and not so much everywhere else? It could be your overlap. If you're overlapping your spray, that's something to think about. So there's all these things that we're doing so much at once that we don't think of these things. And then you got the wind. Why is it not effective? Well, this product don't work at all. Well, if you're doing it in the wind, you're not holding it down. When the gusts come, you just keep on spraying and it's just blowing in the air, then the product is not getting on the plant. So that's something else to think about. Also, check out if you need a surfactant. I am almost, and I'm just going with the flow, I am almost 99% sure that when I read this, you do not use a surfactant with Velocity PM. Somebody's going to fact check me on that. I don't know, but I'm rolling with this one with no surfactant because I want to say it said do not add it to this. It's already in here, and that's what I'm going to go with. I'm not going to add it because I don't want to mess anything up. So I'm just going to add this in. This is our 4.6 roughly with our syringe here. We're going to add this in. I'm just going to blend this up with my drill. We've got three total gallons, and we're just going to spray this to the best of our ability, and we'll be back in 14 days to do it again. So let's do a quick montage of doing the spray. So this part is not long enough to even add a song, but we got the spray done, tried to not to overlap it too badly, did have to stop several times, and I will admit I did come back. I did very quickly hit the edges around the driveway where the POA is super thick. I hit that again, so hopefully that didn't do any damage. We'll find out, and yeah, I found a surprise out back that I'm going to talk about here right now. And there you have it, guys. So make sure you always, as I always get reminded as a YouTuber in the comments, wear the proper PPE. I have my gloves on, have your long sleeve, long pants, iPro. You know, you can throw in the AirPods as well to help you out. But as I was mentioning, there is not a big POA annua issue in the backyard. So what I did was spray the entire front yard. I hit this over here, spot treated right along the driveway right here just with the spray. And then one thing that I'd forgotten about that's going to be awesome to find out in this test is as I went to the right side of the house, you know, I hit right in front of this brick over here in front of the flowers, but around where I do my videos on the concrete pad to the right of that, I've had some POA trivialis pop up, and I'm thinking, man, I got to deal with this. And I totally forgot about that. I'm thinking so much POA annua that I hit that POA triv really well with some spot treatments as well with the latter remaining liquid in my backpack. So I thought, man, I think I mixed 3 gallons. That's way too much. But I had enough to hit all of that. And then I did see a little more POA annua on the left side over here, not right side, left facing you. There was more POA annua embedded in that turf. So hit some of that, spot treated the back section, not so much in the backyard, but really on the sides and the front yard. So let the countdown begin. It wasn't too windy. We had to stop a couple times. Hopefully, you know, if I overlapped, it wasn't too bad. And we'll see what happens. I've heard some people going crazy with just the wrong mix and it's hurt their fescue. We definitely don't want to lose our lawn. But herbicide wise, I think being we're in spring, we're in the strongest time of the season for our fescue. It can take a punch and keep growing and keep moving is the point. That's why we plant our fescue in the fall, so that when we come spring, it's already developed those deep roots. So something like a herbicide is not going to take it out. It's not wimpy, it's strong, it's got those roots. So Again, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you've enjoyed this. We've already done my cleanup. I'm ready to go in from work now and relax, knowing that in 14 days we're going to do this again, and we'll come back and we'll check it out as the weeks go on. Stay tuned to the channel here. We're going to be coming out, we're going to be walking this POA, and we're going to see, is this $500 herbicide worth it? Does it work? Is it going to just evaporate it and the lawn's going to look perfect? I don't know. Stay tuned. God bless you guys. Hope you have a great weekend, or excuse me, hope you have a great, let's see, you're watching this on Monday, so have a great week. I'm going to have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.